What's up everyone, this is the 2021 Toyota Corolla SE. This is part of the E210 12th generation cars. Now, if you're a subscriber or you've seen my videos, the reason I'm driving this car right now is because the Tesla got rear-ended and has been in the shop for the last 2 months. But today we're going to go over this car, so let's start going over this car. All right, so look at the front of the car. We have our headlights here. Now, one thing to keep in mind is this is the 2021 model. The 2023 models had a facelift on the front here, so they'll look a little bit different. So that's an easy way to tell between the facelift and non-facelift models. But besides that, you have your Toyota badge. You have the grille here. There's some holes, so it's definitely real. Although the ones here, they're fake plastics. So those don't serve any purpose, they're just there for design. And then you have this little splitter design here, which looks kind of nice on the SE model. Looking at the wheels, so one thing to keep in mind is this car is kind of dirty right now. If you know about California, we've had a lot of rain recently. But anyways, these are the 18-inch wheels that come with the SE model. In my opinion, they actually don't look that bad, especially if I were to clean these. They'd actually look out pretty nicely. All right, so looking at the side of the car, the first thing that comes to mind is this little splitter looking thing here, the side skirt. Looks kind of nice. Now, one thing about this car is there's no comfort access. As someone who drives BMWs, I should have expected that. The mirrors don't auto fold, but they do fold. So you can still fold mirrors, which is nice. There are some new cars where you can't actually do that anymore. Now, there's a small window here and a small window here. Obviously, those don't open, only these two open. Then we have these plastic pieces in the front and in the back of the car. And then, of course, the gas cap is on the left side of the car. All right, look at the back of the car. We have our little mini spoiler right here. And then we have this little plastic piece down here and then a little diffuser. There are two exhausts. The Camry has quad exhaust. The Corolla has a smaller engine, of course. And we do have a backup camera, which is nice. That's standard on the Corollas now. All right, since we're already back here, let's take a look at the trunk. So there's no trunk button. There's no freaking trunk button on this thing. You gotta use this to open it. That's crazy. And of course, it doesn't open all the way. All right, so looking at the trunk, it's a pretty decent sized trunk, and the lip here to put stuff in is a decent size. Now down here, if I lift this up, you'll see we have the spare tire stuff here. So you have the tools to open your wheels and the jack, and there is a tire under here, so that's nice. Most new cars, from my experience, do not have spare tires. So it's really nice that this has spare tires. Now, if you need more space, these seats do fold down. I'll show you all in a second when we get to the back. So you can put longer things inside. But overall, the trunk space is pretty decent for a car like this. All right, now let's go ahead and go inside the car. All right, so looking at the door, you have your plastic piece here, door opener, and then over here we have some controls. This control here is for the mirror. And then here you have the lock and unlock, and then this is to make sure the windows can't be put up and down for people in the back. And you have your window controls here. And we do have this nice little leather right here with some blue stitching. You'll see the stitching all around the interior. And then down here, we have our little plastic piece, speaker, little cupboard here to put stuff, and then a little water bottle holder here. For size, this is a standard water bottle. That's how it looks. You can't really fit any big ones here, so expect to only put like this size water bottles in there. But this here is, of course, to change the brightness of the instrument cluster. This is auto high beams, and then the rest is gone here. And we do have the hood release down here. We have the AC vent here with a little trim here. And then down here we have our gas tank and our trunk releases. We do have this lever here to manually move the steering wheel up and down. So it can be moved, which is nice. And then this is our steering wheel. So it's leather here, which is nice. You have some media control buttons here, and then you have your cruise control. Have some other buttons here for the modes. This is to call, go back, directional, volume, voice, and then you have some lane assist and front collision stuff here. And the horn is here, of course. To adjust the seats, there's a lever here that you can do to go forward and back. So we have two levers here. This is for the back, and then this is for the height if you want to go up and down. You can make the seat higher and lower. Looking at the seats, so they're fabric seats, and as you can see, it has that stitching right there. And then again, it has stitching here. You can move the headrest up and down, of course, manually right there. And overall, they're not bad. They're actually pretty comfortable. All right, so we have our instrument cluster here. We have the RPMs, and then the speed, and then this little digital display. that digital display, I'll just show y'all here. There's a few functions that you can see. As you can see here, you have a small amount of information that you can do, some settings you can turn on and off here. And then it says not ready to drive because we're not turned on. But yeah, that's that display. Looking over here, we have our screen, and then we have our AC vents. This is our AC system right here. It's pretty basic, but gets the job done. All right, so this is the infotainment system here. So this has audio, then you have your car specs here. And then here's the menu. So audio, you can obviously do different sources, such as the Sirius radio, Bluetooth, USB, and then here we have sound. You can control your sound and stuff. And then here we have phone. Obviously, you can connect your phone and then do stuff with your phone. Here we have apps. So I don't have the Entune app installed, so I can't show you all the apps. But basically what you can do is on your phone, you get apps, and then they'll show up here. Only the ones obviously that are supported. And then of course we have projection, so you can project. This is mainly for Android. You can project onto the screen. And info is mainly, service. And then eco, this is just the specs. And then in setup, we have some things here. So here's the general settings that you can play with. As you can see here, you can change unit of measurement, change the animation, software update and stuff. And of course, Bluetooth, you can change devices. And as I mentioned earlier, you have audio, your phone, and then the voice. And then here you have vehicle settings. So you can customize your vehicle here. So door lock, climate, lights. So for instance, door lock. You can change door locks. This is kind of cool. I like how they give you some options here. And then climate settings is auto AC mode. And then light settings, you can change some things. You can turn off daytime running lights. You can change the headlight timer and stuff, which is pretty nice. And then Wi-Fi. So this does have Wi-Fi hotspot capabilities, which is pretty cool. But to be honest, I've never used this in any of my cars. And then Entune App Suite, again. And you have screen. So you could change general settings here. And then you can also change your camera, the contrast and stuff. So if you click maps, there's no built-in maps. You have to use your phone for everything. So that's one thing I don't like. And then of course you have your volume knob here and your FM AM stuff there. But yeah, it's a pretty basic system. It's not very complicated. And then of course we have our backup camera. So if you put it in reverse, this is the backup camera. That's how it looks. And of course the red line is if you're getting too close. And then here we have a little space. You can put your phone and stuff there. We have sport mode, traction control off, and then this is a button that doesn't have a feature here. And then of course we have our shifter. There is a manual mode. So fun fact, there's paddle shifters here on both sides. So up here we have our SOS, we have lights on both sides. Here we have our visor, so light and everything. And then of course, one nice thing about these visors is the extension. None of my BMWs have this. I don't know why, but really useful actually. I really like that. And it's like some plasticky material, but it works fine. Here we have the electronic brake. So this is the e-brake. It's electronic, and as you can see, it's in park. This is the hold button, so that when you're in traffic, or I guess at a stoplight, this is more useful. You can press this and let go of the brake, and the car will stay. It will not go forward. Then you have two cup holders here, standard size. And then we have our armrest here. Opening it up, it's an okay size. It's not that big. You do have your power here, cigarette lighter, and then a USB type A right there. Looking at the back seat, it's pretty much similar to the front. You got your window, you got a little holder here, and then the leather with the blue strip right here. You can't really put much down here. So here's your standard water bottle. It takes about that much space. So you can put a long one, but you just can't have a thick one in here. And then down here we have our speakers. So the door only goes up this much. I mean, there's normally enough room for most people, but it is worth noting that the clearance is not as much as it seems. This is actually a common thing with sedans. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and go into the back seat and sit down, see how comfortable it is. All right, so overall, it's not bad. My head's pretty close to the ceiling, and I'm not that tall, so just like most cars, if you're in the back seat and you're tall, you're probably gonna hit your head. Leg space is not bad, so there's plenty of leg space actually, which is good. And then we have the headrest here. But overall, the back space is not that bad. It does seat 3 people in the back, so, Speaking of 3, so I've said this in all my videos, but the middle seat's always the worst. But to be honest, this middle seat is actually not bad. Like, I mean, the only bad thing is this headrest is way too far back, so I'm kind of like sitting like this. But if it was like a little bit more forward, if you can actually move it, which you cannot, that'd be a lot better. But yeah, the middle seat's not that bad. So in the back, we have these anchors here for child, child seats and stuff. And then this right here comes down. So if you don't have someone in the middle, you have a nice little armrest here. You have 2 cup holders here. And then there's no ski pass here, it's closed. But the good news is this button here and this button here, you just push down and the seats come down like that. So you can put stuff in the trunk that's longer. All right, so looking at the engine bay, this is a 2-liter engine and it makes 169 horsepower and 151 foot-pounds of torque. Now, this car has a CVT transmission. I'm not a fan of CVT transmissions, and there's lots of bad stuff about them online. So as far as maintenance, you have access to your coils right there, your air filters right there, batteries here, and then you have fuses and stuff. And there's enough room to work around the engine, which is kind of nice, unlike a lot of other newer cars where everything's so crammed that you can't even get your hands in there. And then, of course, this car doesn't have struts for the hood, so you gotta do it like that. All right, next, let's go for a drive, and then we'll just talk about how the ride feels. All right, so the first thing I notice is the road noise. There's a lot of road noise, holy crap. I didn't really realize how much road noise there was until we're making this video, because I've been driving this for a while. But man, it's definitely, it's kind of like that thing where they say you get what you paid for. You can definitely tell it's not super smooth. Oh, and since this is the SE model, we gotta test the paddle shifters. Let's see, we're in first gear. All right, so, I mean, it has 169 horsepower. What do you expect? It's all right. The acceleration is not bad. It's kind of fun to shift with the paddle shifters. I don't recommend doing it because most of the time, if you're doing that, you're probably just going to be wasting a lot more gas in the car shifting by itself. Because let's be honest, if you're shifting with paddles, you're going to be stepping on it. Overall, for the steering, it's pretty smooth. It's not too bad. All right, so there's a highway patrol in front of us. Let's see if we can catch up to him. Unfortunately, if I go any faster, I'm eligible for a ticket, so I'm just going to stop. So one thing I forgot to mention is this car does not have any blind spot detection, so you're on your own. Yeah, so overall, when I'm on the highway, I hear a lot of road noise. Obviously, you can kind of reduce that a little bit by getting better tires, but this actually has Michelin premises already. And most of that noise is probably due to like just the insulation and stuff in the car. You have to keep in mind that I'm just probably being nitpicky. Like if you're looking into buying a Corolla at this price range, you probably don't really care about road noise. But I'm reviewing this car just in general, like from an overall perspective. So right now we're getting 35 miles per gallon, which is, to me, that's pretty good. I don't normally get more than like 18 in the other cars. Obviously, one good thing about this being a Toyota is it's probably going to be reliable. I mean, we do have a Toyota from 2013 that we got, like, it was only like a year old when we got it. And that thing has no problems at all. So I assume this car probably won't have any problems in the long run. Not that I'm going to have it in the long run. But that's one good thing about Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. It's funny, they used to say moving forward until that brake stuff happened. As you can see, we have a Corolla LE in front of us. That one actually has the blind spot detection, which was hilarious. And he just, yeah. Alright, so in conclusion, the Corolla's not a bad car. It's under $30,000 for a brand new car. The SE model is exactly $24,000. And with the packages around $26,000, which isn't too bad. You know, after like 2020, 2021, when prices skyrocketed, you know, everything went up, but it's still a decent car. With that said, the Tesla is back. So this car is going back, and it's going to be nice to drive something a little bit better. But if you're looking for a Corolla, rest assured that it's not a bad car.